Hey everyone, this is Brandon McCaskill from The Brandon McCaskill Show. You're about to watch a clip from our latest podcast, so please enjoy it. But just really quickly, we rely on the generous donations of our viewers. Our content is free on our various platforms, but if you see the vision we're trying to accomplish here and want to get behind us, you can give a one-time donation to this email on the screen, or you can become a monthly supporter on Patreon. There you'll have access to more content, and again, it's just a great way to keep us afloat. So thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, and forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
This has obviously put a lot of stress on our police resources. A lot of times they're understaffed, overworked, and thanked not too much. And that's a problem. I want to know that my boys and girls in blue are being taken care of because they're taking care of me.
Yeah.
And so there's this debate going on of like, because right now, and maybe this is a good segue, they're requesting a new facility because there's a lot of inadequacies with the current Sarnia Police Service headquarters, which there's a lot of fixing that needs to be done to bring it up to code, and these repairs that add up to, I think it's $4.43 million. At least that's what the article said. I think it was the journal that I was reading.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I'm torn on the issue because $91 million, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of taxpayers' dollars that they're asking the city for. What are your general thoughts on? Because on one hand, we support the boys and girls in blue.
Yeah, absolutely.
But $91 million, that's
so
huge.
much money.
Yeah.
And I guess one of the things I'm seeing in the community itself is a lot of people are asking, well, that money should be used towards different services or mental health outreach to the community. And
Detox
stuff.
facilities. Yeah.
Like, I don't think that would be feasible, though, because we've had discussions with friends, and they said that, well, those things are funded by the county and not the city, and that this would ultimately need to be funded by the city. So it's like the city doesn't have the luxury of doing that.
Yeah, well, the province takes care of health. Like that's
the
province's deal. And so, yeah, we got to understand how municipal politics works.
That's the big ticket. So I think that ultimately, yeah, they do need a new building. Mm. My big questions are, do you think A, the timing is right? And B, like, let's talk a little bit about the location. Is the location right?
Yeah, let's talk about location, because right now, currently, they're sitting in the heart of what we would say is the problem. Like downtown, that's like the hub of like where. Well, it's not far from Rainbow Park. It's we were talking earlier. You mentioned how like the banks are kind of like slowly creeping away from the downtown, and so that's their current location, and their new proposed location is out near Bethel Pentecostal. I think it's between that and the storage facility. I think that's that little chunk of land.
So London Line, the Golden Mile. So
which is on the outskirts.
It's on the outskirts of town. Like, most of the people don't live there, and they need to be where the people are.
Yeah.
The location being in downtown Sarnia is pivotal to taking care of the community. It's located where everybody is. It's located where we have all of our major events at the Centennial Park waterfront.
That's a good point.
Which they always have a big hand to play in keeping people safe and keeping things orderly during those things.
Yeah.
There's just, how many people have ever been busted doing something wrong because they're driving around in that area of town, and that's just where all the police end up being.
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the contrast between that and like the Golden Mile, where
Where
it's, I mean, you got your motels out there where there's been some busts out there,
yeah,
for sure, but it's definitely not like the hub, I would say.
no.
I'd have to see numbers on that, but I'm not convinced that.
I would wager.
That's a good point.
I would wager the crime severity index in Sarnia, excuse me, everything is probably between downtown and Mitten Street. I would say
Yeah.
all the crime is happening in that kind of centralized area,
Right.
between where the river is to like just past Mitten Street.
Yeah.
Everything else is probably like hot pockets near where the church on Exmouth is, where they have a shelter.
Right.
And then probably hot pockets through what's that trail that we have that runs through the city?
Blue Water Trail
Yeah,
or Howard Watson Trail.
That the Howard Watson Trail. There's spots of
Old
activity
Howard.
there,
Yeah.
which is definitely different than when we were kids because that trail was as clean as it came.
Yeah.
Like back when we were kids. Just the dynamics of the city have changed so much in the past 20 years.
Yeah, I suppose there might be an argument because you're saying that it's too far outside of the city. But if we want Sarnia to grow and we start to see more development out that area, that could very quickly, I think, like in the future, become like the hub of the city center almost. Not the center, but like enveloped by city infrastructure over time. But because it is a very future focused initiative, I think, because they're considering, and this is one of their selling features. I've been reading through some of the reports, and they argue how like if we keep waiting every year, it's going to add about 4% to the cost every year. Which, you mean, if we keep waiting and we end up having to move the police services, then it's going to be super expensive.
Yeah.
And so I think that is a good argument. And I shared this with you offline. I have personal experience at the Sarnia Police Service because it was about 7 or 8 years ago. I used to work for a foundational repair company. I won't say the name, but we would go to basements and find cracks in the walls and the ceilings and whatever, and we'd fill it with whatever, do a bunch of different techniques to stop water from coming in. And so sure enough, the Sarnia Police called us in, and we had to wear our little badges so we wouldn't get shot on sight. And we got ushered in and down into the basement. If I'm remembering right, I think it was down into the basement in their workout areas. It was like this gym with treadmills and weights and everything.
Okay.
And their ceiling was cracked. And I just remember thinking, dang, like I'm down here. And so my job, I was up on the ladder because it's quite a high ceiling down there. And we had to drill these little holes and insert these little ports and pump water reactant resin in there that would expand and fill the gap because they were getting water down there. And I'm trying to remember because I think it's because the showers were above it, and so the water from the shower was somehow coming down.
Oh,
I don't know
no.
if I'm remembering right, but just the cracks alone, like that had me worried. And this is our police facility.
And you were already working, so you've seen stuff like this. And
Yeah.
You've seen things that are like, well, you had questions about how safe it was.
Yeah, and so like when I read these like repair costs, the 4.43 million, does that include all the structural things? Maybe even some of the structural things that are hidden right now and they're going to be visible in the next few years? And this has been that was 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know what the building looks like right now, but though, like, is that a good argument? I think that is a good argument.
I think that is a good argument. Ultimately, we do need a facility that will work for the police.
Yeah.
We need one that's going to be safe, not only for them, but anybody that they may have visiting them.
Yeah.
But I'm just so torn on this issue that
Yeah.
what are we going to do with it? I'm not one way or another for it. I think the timing is a little bad because Sarnia is going through like a bit of a recession. Like, does it feel like it's booming here to you?
No. Well, and this is what I wanted to talk about next. And I think what could solve a lot of problems is this whole idea of catch and release being just disseminated.
Yeah.
Completely. And I know just recently in the House it was slapped down by the Liberals, where the Conservatives were trying to amend that. And that's a big problem. So that's another question. Is building this giant facility, is it going to take care of that root issue? No, I don't think so.
No, it's not. We do have a big problem where people are going to jail, and
Yeah.
they are not staying in jail.
Yeah.
Which has created all of these problems, and it's got to be disheartening to be a police officer.
Yeah.
And I think Pierre Poilievre said it like, it's there's a number out there, and it says something about how a very small number of people equate like the largest number of arrests in pretty much every city. It's like a handful of people, like 5 or 6 or 10. The stats on it are crazy, but when you have these repeat offenders and the judges keep just being like, well, you get bail or you get this, like they're putting people out on house arrest who don't even have houses.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't. What it made me think of is like right now the United States is entertaining the capital punishment, right?
Yep.
And we're letting prisoners go free. So it's like quite polar opposite situations. I'm a big advocate of fearing authority, not a terrified, like to stand next to a police officer, but to know that breaking the rules is wrong. I think that's a healthy fear to have. Like some fears are good. Like if you're standing on the edge of a cliff and your brain is, there's fear rising in your mind. That's a good thing because it's telling you to back away from the cliff. It's informing you to make good decisions.
When you're a child, they go, oh, well, you'll only touch a hot oven or a hot pan once.
That's right. Just once. You don't need to do it.
You won't ever do it again.
Again and again.
You should be afraid to break the law. And I'm going to circle back to what I said about how the chief of police says like they're trying to tackle social disorder. And when you have chaos or anarchy in your community, it's going to reign supreme.
Yeah.
It bleeds out. It's like a social contagion, if you will. So when you have people who are going to do these things and they go unchecked in your community, it's only going to expand and it's only going to grow.
Yeah.
And then you just keep slapping them on the wrist. And it's not good for these guys either.
Yeah.
The people who get arrested.
Well, and what kind of message is this communicating to our youth that you can get away with stuff?
Yeah.
Like part of why I want to do this podcast is to anger the youth because this stuff directly affects their future. And I want them to kind of be inspired to get involved with politics, see these just horrible policies that are implemented from liberal government with, the policies like catch and release, and vote the opposite when they're old enough.
Yeah.
I mean, like now we talked about this last podcast. Now is the time to get involved with local, federal, like Canadian politics. We got to know what's going on because we're at a tipping point right now where it's going to be so hard to come back from if we haven't gone too far already.